I'm sharing a couple Midwest fall days, how I am putting my gardens to rest, and sharing a fun antique haul with you. Candles are lit, laundry has gotten started, and the day begins. The days get rolling pretty typical with much of the same routines. We let in the light for the day. I work on whatever kitchen or homemaking project needs to get done for a while the kiddos have some independent playtime. Today I needed to get some chicken stock in some jars, and actually I'm using them for a soup that you will see later that I actually had the recipe over on my blog, daviekillian.com. It's a creamy chicken corn chowder, and I am just using homemade chicken broth, but right now I am taking care of putting that in the jars and getting those in the fridge. And then I wanted to do something a little fun with my two girls. I wanted to make some homemade gummy bears. The recipe is from Farmhouse on Boone. I'll link that for you. But I'm also adding elderberry because we are struggling with cold season. It's already here. It's been so windy and dusty in the plains of South Dakota. And so we have gotten the dust and the allergy type thing, so I wanted to make those. And while those are resting in the freezer in the gummy bear molds, it's time to do a good cleanup of the girls' room. So the kiddos share this room. We have some decluttering and some organizing to do, and also switching out from some summer to fall clothes. It's still unusually warm. Today when I'm doing the voiceover, it was 80 degrees and it's almost the end of October. So fun to still have the warm temperatures, but also I'm ready for a few more frosts and freezes as well. So we just needed to get some things cleaned up. This tote that slides under their bed is their dress up clothes and other puzzles and reusable sticker pads they have, and it was time to get rid of some of those because I really didn't use them much and they just got strewn about all over whenever they got out. So they were ready to get rid of some, and so was I. Then it was time to swap out their summer clothes to fall clothes. So I was able to do that with the help of the girls too, to make sure that what I put in the drawer they would wear. So a couple of outfits I put in or thought that they would wear, they said, no, I don't think I'd wear that. So off to the donation pile that goes. Really try to keep my kids' wardrobes pretty minimal. They probably have less than I do, and I have found that to be really helpful for them in choosing what to wear, because if they have too many choices, they really struggle with finding clothes to wear, especially my 5-year-old. She really wants to wear something in particular, and she ends up choosing the same things over and over anyways. So too many options is not good, and that's for us too. We can have decision fatigue, and it starts little. I can see that with how kids have so many choices, and reducing the amount of clothes they have and just making those choices easier for them, I will help them with that. And then just doing a little more organizing in their closet with hanging some command hooks for their bags. The gummy bears were done, and the kiddos had some for the snack, and I had to enjoy one as well. So it's after lunch cleanup time, and unfortunately it was a much needed cleanup because one of our drawers in our fridge fell off on the door and broke a bunch of our items, unfortunately. So I did a triple clean on the floor because there were some glass things like pickles and olives that fell out. And so I did a thorough scrubbing of the chairs and the floor and under the fridge and just did it 3 times and made sure to sweep and Swiffer and wipe it again because little shards of glass are not good to have around. Had to clean out the drawer as well because everything was in there that had broken, and also found some glass in there. So it was good to get it cleaned out, but unfortunate for the glass breaking and having to use some of the quiet time, nap time on this project that just happens, and we have no control over those accidents happening. So I finished up the rest of the kitchen cleaning. You see I'm doing some more of the floor cleaning. Like I said, it needed to be done. Plus it was after lunch, so there was still food crumbs. And I like to just reset my kitchen, because it's our eat-in kitchen, after every meal so that it's ready for after nap time snacks and then supper prep. This bread dough recipe is less hands-on and less stretch and folds, which I am totally okay with. So giving this recipe a try, and then off to supper prep. And as you can see, my little boy is awake already. So this is the creamy chicken corn chowder recipe that I mentioned earlier. I have it on the blog as a slow cooker recipe, but I'm doing it in my Dutch oven on top of the stove. So it can be changed. You just cook it quicker on the stove. And so I'm using some fresh garden potatoes, and I'm using a red onion. It calls for a yellow onion, but you use what you've got, right? Some fresh carrots and garlic, of course. I didn't have any celery on hand, but I had some frozen from my garden earlier in the summer, and so that will get tossed in as well. But the kids are playing outside. The sliding door is open because it's a beautiful fall day, and I can hear them playing while I enjoy making food. After I get the chicken stock in and get that simmering for a while, it's time to enjoy my latte. So I do just a single shot. That's why you saw 2 mugs in there of decaf. And I enjoy this every day, whether it just be an Americano with cream in it or a delicious raw milk latte. I enjoy this little treat that I get every afternoon. And then we are doing some garden cleanup and putting it to rest for the season. When this video is filmed, we had not had a frost yet, so I am picking all my tomatoes, red and green alike, because the green tomatoes can be stored in a bin, and I'm using this green crate and storing my tomatoes in there, and then they will ripen. So they are sitting in storage right now, waiting to turn, and I'm excited to see what they do. I've never done this before for some reason. I usually just toss all my green tomatoes, and I thought, why am I wasting all these tomatoes? And I heard that you can save them all. So I am excited to use them and just use them as they turn and have fresh tomatoes for a longer season. I'm also clipping the last of my zinnias by our guest cottage and by my house, because it's supposed to freeze that night of this video that you're seeing. And so I'm just making plenty of bouquets to enjoy for at least a week or 2 more before they die off and fade away. But oh, these flowers have been such a joy to have in my house and to share with friends and family, and gift to people. They've just been so fun. If you can ever plant zinnias and some fresh cut flowers, you really should in the summer months. They're just so vibrant and beautiful and add such life and joy to a home, in any table, any place you put them. I let the soup simmer for quite a while with those vegetables, and then I am adding some chicken from a whole chicken I had cooked from a previous meal. Then, of course, I gotta add some milk because it's a creamy chicken corn chowder. You can add cream as well, but this raw milk has a lot of extra cream in it. And then I'm adding some sour cream. The measurements are on the blog as well, so I'm not measuring here, but you can follow measurements of the recipe over on the blog. Adding some parsley, adding salt and pepper, and getting this delicious meal dished up to my family. It's a new day, and I am enjoying my quiet time with the Lord. We are doing in our Sunday school, it's called Respectable Sins by Jerry Bridges, and I mentioned a while ago about this book that I'd let you know how it is. It has been so renewing and just thought-provoking. I highly recommend this, even just for a self-study. The routines continue. As I said, in the mornings after breakfast, before schooling starts, we always do some homemaking task. It was cleaning my front porch. The spiders had made some lovely little cobwebs in the corners, and some other little critters, not little critters, little bugs had gotten in and die, and it was time to get a little cleaning done. Then we just did a little paint marker on some pumpkins for a little craft on this day before we started school. Some reading of some fall books and doing some interactive and movement for some learning, and then also just doing some kinesthetics with some of the math in this curriculum. Then outside we go to enjoy some picking of some changing leaves. You saw on my previous day the cleanup after lunch. Oh, does it continue every single day. Some days I do a little more extensive and get down on my hands and knees and spot clean. Today was just a broom type of day. You guys are getting another chicken recipe for this day. It's actually relatively similar to the creamy chicken corn chowder because it is a chicken pot pie recipe. Very similar with the same vegetables, the carrots, the celery, the onion, the garlic. Just take out the potato, and I'm making a really delicious biscuit for the top. I made it up, so I will have to try to tell you a little bit of how I made this recipe, but a lot of chicken pot pies are really just get those vegetables cooked up. I simmered them in some homemade chicken broth that I still had left over, and then you make it creamy by putting flour or cornstarch in there to thicken it, and then you add in your cream or milk and your salt, your pepper, your parsley, your herbs that you want to add in there. And then I made it's called a Southern biscuit kind of topping. So it's a butter and milk biscuit, but I put it on top. Oh, it was so delicious and just the perfect cozy fall meal. There's something so fun about some new thrifted or rummage find pieces, and I want to share a few of those with you on today's video. So I actually found these through my mom. She had a neighbor who was moving and she had some antiques and vintage pieces, and she FaceTimed me and picked these items out while I looked at them on the phone. So I would have loved to have gone to this garage sale, but it didn't happen that way, and my mom was generous enough to find some of these and go over there and shop for me. So total was $32, and I'll just start with the pile that I have. I thought this was a fun piece to put candles in, to hang somewhere. I don't know. It's dark wood, so I don't know. I have a few dark wood pieces in my home, like so my music stand over by my piano area and some artwork. So possibly for Christmas or something, this would be beautiful. And this would be nice to hang it with the hook. So that was a fun piece. If I don't keep these items, if you don't know, I do have a shelf in an antique store. I don't put all antiques on there. I put some vintage pieces. I even just put things I declutter from my home in there. And so I have that outlet as well when I pick up these thrifted and vintage finds. Couple candlesticks, and they definitely have some patina on them. I love candlesticks to decorate with for the holiday time in the fall. You've seen me light some candles and it's just beautiful to have, and I love the tapered candles. These also go very well in my antique booth, so if I don't keep them, I know exactly where they're gonna go, but such a cute pair. This cute little jug crock, quite dusty, is filled with potpourri, actually. I don't know if you can see that in there. Did not know that. Oh, that's fun. And it still has a scent, floral scent. So that was a fun find. Like I said, everything was $32, so not how much I paid for each individual piece, but I could definitely see myself popping this on a shelf, on a stand, just different places around my home. Not a vintage piece, but something fun. I like the gold to be fun with some Christmas lights and pine cones in there, or pumpkins for fall, something like that, or even just to put in my antique booth, seriously. But it's something that I thought was really cute. Not antique, it says made in India, but I like the little detailing it's got there and really shiny. I'm finding another candlestick here. One more candlestick, and this one I think is supposed to be silver, but it's so tarnished that it is not, obviously. Got some detailing there around the edges, but sterling. Okay, maybe we'll keep it. It's sterling silver, so that would be really nice to still have. I will probably be keeping this beautiful piece. My next three pieces are some kerosene lamps. So I kind of collect kerosene lamps. I have three. One of my friends really enjoys them, and these were $5 a piece is what she did say for these. So I asked my mom to pick some up. She had 8. I took 3. So this one's just got the metal bottom. This one I thought was so beautiful, very pretty. They all have wicks in them still. It's got a little bit of cracking, but just the detail of this one, it wouldn't hold very much kerosene, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. Then this one was so unique. It kind of reminds me of Aladdin, like holding the lantern in the cave before he pops out, just with that little handle right here. and just fun, unique piece. And the globe on top is even different. So I thought that was really fun and had her pick that up as well. So just a fun piece to have. And then everything is actually being stored in a crate that they gave me for $3. So just a worn crate. It says Canada apples on there. I store some of my produce in my food storage room in crates, or I've decorated with crates in the past where I've put little Christmas trees in them, kind of like the rustic farmhouse look, but I wouldn't pass up a crate for $3. So kind of fun other piece to find. So just a unique little collective haul from one little garage sale that I was so happy to have gotten some stuff from. Some days I get to enjoy my afternoon coffee while making supper. Other days I take it outside. Other days we're doing a craft at the table. But today is a supper prepping day. Like I said, I am back to making the chicken pot pie, and I'm making it creamy with adding the flour and then adding some milk in there, and then I'll be topping it with the biscuits. And again, the little guy just needed a little more attention, so he was watching me and helping me stir and just be part of the experience. This time of year is great for those one-pot meals, and this is definitely one of those. After the meal, we decided to all go outside and clean off our deck. Just needed a little cleaning from the crab apples, all the leaves and dust that have been blowing, and it was just a beautiful fall evening. I'm rearranging the pumpkins a little bit because I took all my ferns off of the deck to store inside, other than now it's warm enough outside that I can bring them back out, but just doing a little bit of rearranging for the things I have outside.